Welcome to Reread. Today I'm on Greg Key's novel, The Final Prophecy. This opens up where Wedge is making a feint on the world of Doros. He's faking out the Vaughn because they're actually attacking, the Galactic Alliance is attacking somewhere else. But because some of the Doros squadrons are not in on the secret, they can't let everyone in on the plan. They go ahead and break formation and try to take back the planet. But that wasn't the point. The point was to hold the line and hold steady and then go away. And because of that, a lot of Doros died. And later on, I guess Jaina is in on it because one of her pilots is a Doros and says that Wedge just left him to die. He didn't tell him the truth. You know, I guess now the secret's out everywhere. And she's like, well, you know, we had to keep secrets because there's Vong spies everywhere. And I was thinking, yeah, sometimes you got to lie to do things and people can die. Oh, wait, isn't that what Kip did? Now, I know I'm very salty about Kip, and he's not in this at all, but like I said, they're basically past it now. Kip's turned a new leaf ever since Destiny's Way, I guess, and they're done dogging on him. It was only Michael Stackpole and the first few people who tried to make Kip the villain. But still, deception's everywhere. You know, Kip decided he wanted them to take out a world ship, so he gave them only need to know information. Now, you could argue if it's different, but I'm being a gripe about it, I guess. Anyway, Wedge does consider, he talks to one of the pilots about how do you think Thrawn would have handled the Vong? And I think that's Greg Key's looking at the forums and saying, there's a lot of people asking that question. That'd be a great conversation. It was. He thinks that, you know, he doesn't know what. The Grand Admiral is very smart, so maybe Pelion's different. You know, Pelion's different than Thrawn. He's not as calculating and everything, but he's still smart. But, you know, who knows? And he goes, if the Thrawn do art, then they'd be doomed. You know, and I like that because it's probably true. Thrawn would probably learn from all his experiences, learn as much as he could. He'd probably see as much as Akbar did in them. It'd probably take him half the time it took Akbar to figure things out, and maybe would have used some things against him. He probably would have struggled. But anyway, I always like when they do the what if scenarios in the books there, because they're not going to clone Thrawn or anything, but that'd be kind of silly. But that had the discussion was nice. I can't remember. I think this is the opening of chapter 17. I cannot remember, but it says, this is the best opening of any chapter. It said, Han Solo gazed unhappily at one of the most beautiful sunsets he had ever seen. I love the way Greg Keyes writes. It's just wonderful. Now, there is a story about a captain of an Imperial Star Destroyer. His name is Captain Davis. He's a big fan of Han Solo, so big that he jumps into a TIE fighter and decides to escort the Millennium Falcon into battle. Now, fast forward to the end, Davis basically sacrifices himself to buy Han some more time to escape. And while they're all, giving toast, the Pelion comes in and goes, hey, I haven't heard back from Captain Davis. You know what happened to him? He went, I'm sorry, but he died. And Pelion went still, and Tahiri picked up some kind of feeling from him. He went, oh, I see. He goes, he was a good man. He went, yes, he was. He goes, well, they asked Pelion to join him for a drink. He said, I'll get you another time. He said, perhaps another time. Thank you. And he walks out. And Tahiri goes, did Pelion have a son? It was his son. It was an illegitimate son. I had forgotten about this, to be honest. It's only mentioned at the end, and I don't know. I mean, maybe they mention it later on again, that he had that son that died in the war, but that was kind of wild. Like, wait a minute, because I had to trick my mind. I was like, wait, did they say that he had an affair? Was there a short story out there, a book? No. Greg Keyes decided to just throw that in there. And I'm sure they probably mention that later on. I'm sure Pelion thinks back to his son or whatever. Or maybe they just leave it alone. It was just kind of weird to kind of throw that in there. And there wasn't any, what I want to say, big deaths in Final Prophecy like there have been in the past. And I knew that. I knew the last two books really, didn't kill off anyone big, like on the good guy side. Well, kind of. Final Prophecy didn't really. But anyway, it was kind of sad that, Pelion knew he had to be professional. He didn't want to give it away, and he just walked out very politely, very professional, and you feel for him. It was a good touch. The Shaper Nin Yim is being taken to Corran Horn and Tahiri are taking them to the planet of Simona Sakat, and when they get to the planet, there's a big adventure with them. And it's Ninyim Harar, I think is his name. I didn't write his name down. And no Manar disguised as the prophet. And when they get there, Ninyim and Tahiri start, talking. And she goes, "Hey, my Rena, was she based off someone real?" And Ninyim is probably. We don't know who it was, but probably. And she says, "What type of memories do you have?" And she starts telling her the memories. And Ninyim is shocked because Those are her childhood memories. So it's basically, it was, she was shaped to be off her child. So they share the same childhood now, which is kind of interesting. Another thing I'd totally forgotten. I'd totally forgotten about that. Now, Manar sees that, hey, look, I'm on the planet Zamona Sakat. If I take this out, I can probably get in good graces with Shimra. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So he steals the Shaper's book of, whatever formulas, kills her, reveals himself, and then kills her, and then poisons the planet or does something to hurt the planet and escapes. Now, Korn and Tahiri are chasing him down, but of course he's a slippery little snake, and he gets away. He thinks he killed Harar, but I'm very positive Harar's in the last book because I do remember him. I do remember what he does in the end. But the thing is, though, with Manar, once again, he contacts Shimra, and yes, he does make a deal to get back into good graces. Tells a story that he's been captured by the Jedi, but Manar slippery, and I think he will get his comeuppance in the last book. Spoilers there. Now, I did mention in the battle that Wedge and Han are about to lose. It looks like the tides are turning against them, and that's why Davis or Devin or whatever his name is, he sacrifices himself to save Han some more time, but it doesn't make any difference. But fortunately, Jaina, who has found one of the cloaked battle stations back during Thrawn's day, has been hijacked by some smugglers, and so she gets captured, as do all of her pilots, which is kind of weird. How does a bunch of Jedi pilots get captured? Either way, they gave them sonic blasts with guns or whatever, knocked them out. But anyway, she kind of throws a mind trick at one of them and has them jump right in the middle of the battle. When they're trying to jump away, they jump in the middle, and of course, the tide turns now that there's a battle station right there, this huge battle station, and it saves the day. So that was kind of nice. Greg Keyes really knows how to move along a story. And overall, though, I mean, I think I covered all the big ones. Yeah, Manar gets away. Zamona Sakat drives it because it's hurting really bad, so it shoots out into hyperspace. And Luke and Mara and Jason and Tahiri and Sabatine and who are really not in it until the end. They're all just looking at a planet where the space is hyperspace. They don't know where they're going. So we don't know where Zamona Sakat's going. It had agreed to join in the war, but now it's kind of lost in space. And of course, this is all just building up for the final book, which is the Unifying Force, which I will be reviewing next time.